kicking off our fall plots.
Young and green and growing is going to be the most palatable thing to a deer.
That drill's doing a really good job, the G8 drill.
By PH Outdoors.
We really coined the phrase food plot architecture, plant date as it pertains to desired result. We're going to do a little elk hunting, a little deer hunting. This one's got it all. Here we go, deer season 23, episode 12. I can't believe that we're already in our 12th episode as we prepare and count down the days till we get to actually start doing it for real. And we talked a little bit about some of the trail camera tactics we use to try and get bucks during the summer in last week's episode. And now we're going to talk a little bit about food plot architecture, specifically plant date as it pertains to desired result. We're going to break that down a little bit in this episode. We're also going to be in the field, putting some plots in. We're going to do a little elk hunting, a little deer hunting. This one's got it all. So deer season 23, episode 12, starting about right now.
Here we go, it's August 1st. Myself, Perry, and Darren are down here in northern Missouri, and we're kicking off our fall plots. We got rain in the forecast. DeerCast is predicting 1.5 to 2 inches of rain between now and Friday. We're excited, so we're gonna start putting our seeds in the ground. We got this G8 by PH Outdoors, and you know, it's a new piece of equipment. It's a one-hit deal. You go in, you spray your ground, and you come in and you drill it. Also, one benefit to drilling this time of year is we'll save all that moisture that is in the ground, and then you know, any rain that we do get on top of it, it keeps that moisture in the ground that much longer. But we're gonna get a jump here in the earlier part of August and try and get some radishes and brassicas and winter bulbs in the ground.
You can see way behind me, he's running that G8. That drill's doing a really good job. This was a field that was really hard pan. We wanted to just turn it one time with a disc, and we're still using the G8 drill, and it's doing a great job. We got the depth set at 1/2 inch on those back press wheels instead of 1 inch for a no-till plot, or even you can go 2 inches if you want. But right here, and Darren will get a close-up of what I'm talking about, but we're running the last bite in this field with clover mixed in to establish a clover field back into here. And in this furrow was a brassica drop. I can see wheat and a clover seed, and it's pressed in perfectly in the soil. Not too deep to where it's buried. That seed's gonna sprout right up out of the ground and should be a beautiful, lush, eventually clover field here, but for this season, be last bite. Getting ready for season, and there's not a better target on the market than this morel right here. It's 13 by 13 by 13. It's got 6 different sides to shoot at with different dot numbers on every side. No matter if you're shooting a compound, whether you're shooting a crossbow, we shoot broadheads, we shoot fixed blades, we shoot mechanicals, crossbows, and compounds at this target, and it takes a beating and keeps going. One of the great things about this target also is it's 10 pounds. You're going on a hunting trip, you need to shoot when you get there, throw it in the back of the truck. The easiest target on the market for arrow removal, and just overall, it gets beat up, thrown in the back of the truck, sits in the back of the yard. No matter where you're at, what time of the day you're shooting, this morel is the one you want to be shooting at, and it takes a beating and keeps going.
Good day today, mid 80s. We've had really good temperatures for August, a lot of 70s and 80s, so we're starting to put some green fields in, checking some cameras. We got a big list of things to do today, so hopefully we have a productive day. Wade's out working, Perry's out working, and I'm gonna join in on the fun. We got something for you, buddy.
Yeah.
So we're getting ready to take a clover field that had been in clover probably 7-8 years,
Been
probably
a while, yeah.
maybe 10. We got a lot of use out of that clover and had a lot of good sits here. And this is one of the plots that the fork buck used to use a lot.
Yeah, we got a lot of pictures of that scrape of the fork buck.
One of the best scrapes on the farm is right there. They all hit it. And we've got a new target here called Shatterbrains that was here a lot last year.
Yeah.
But the drought really did our clover in. Even as good as it looked 2 falls ago, it's not in good shape. So how we try to reestablish clover is to go in with last bite, and there's already some perennial and annual clovers in it, and then we add non-typical clover at a full rate.
Yep.
So there's about 1 pound in there, and then we add in 7 or 8 pounds to get a full rate. And then we're also going to probably top dress this in the winter. And so we're going to have a green field here this fall with the clover starting to come on underneath all that cover crop between the brassicas and the wheat and the oats and everything. And then once it's done next spring, you generally end up with a good clover field.
That's how we establish all of our clover fields. We go in and, you know, in the spring, mow off all the wheat, and usually there's a nice stand of clover underneath, like, boom, it's done.
Yeah, that last bite, but you got to add the clover in the fall and then top dress it, frost seed it in the winter, and that combination for us has been fantastic.
It's been really good. Yep.
So,
and not to mention having a beautiful green carpet out here this fall is always palatable. That first year green is always nice. So it'll be a fun sit here at Old Cinder Scrape this year.
specifically for old Shatterbrain.
Yep.
We'll see if he shows back up, but we're gonna put it in today with this little G5. It's a 5-foot 3-point implement from PH Outdoors, previously RTP, and shouldn't take long. Good stuff. Wade's gonna actually let me plant. About time, right?
See, we're drilling this and it's a little bit more wet than we would like to do, but we got some rain coming here in the next couple days, so we're going to drill into the moisture and hopefully let the rest of that moisture come in here in a couple days. Take this seed on in, flatten our whole field out, and just make it just perfect seed bed, taking advantage of what's in the ground, and hopefully more to come here in the next couple days.
If you follow us on 13 or any of our semi-live stuff here in Deercast or YouTube, you know we use the term, and we really coined the phrase, food plot architecture some years ago. And we tried to do a few different things in terms of getting a close ethical shot with our overall design, taking advantage of daylight activity by getting plots in a close proximity to where a deer's bedding. And then when it comes down to what type of plot you're looking at, that's really what we're talking about in this particular episode, plant date as it pertains to desired result. I think there's a huge difference in trying to grow groceries that you plan on hunting the entire season and well into December and January. That plant date may need to be a little bit earlier so that those plants have a little more chance to grow. If the product's right, like winter bulbs and sugar beets from Biologic, actually creating a bulb. You contrast that with or compare that with a food plot that you want to be in a hidey-hole and you've got a history with the deer. He's always there the early part of the season, but he's not there late, and you want palatability on your side. In that case, you may want to choose the right product. For me, that's deer radishes. That's the one we generally have great luck with. And I'm gonna plant just a touch later because I don't want to take the chance that I've planted so early, the plant outgrows palatability and then they're not on the plot when you're out there hunting. So for me, dividing that up here in Missouri and Iowa, if I'm growing for tonnage and I want food that's gonna be there throughout the whole season, it's a destination feed field, it's big, and I wanna make sure it's still got food in December and January, my plant date's probably gonna be sometime in the first 2 weeks of August for me here in the Midwest. That may vary depending on where you're watching this out right now or where you hunt. If I'm going for palatability, never forget that young and green and growing is going to be the most palatable thing to a deer. If you watch them, watch their choices and watch right after a rain, they're out there nipping the smallest of clovers, the new sprouts. And if I'm going with deer radishes, I'm going to be in the second 2 weeks of August. If I'm into a clover field, I'm very careful about when I go in there and mow it, so that the green's coming back up. You always have to look at your forecast. Of course, if you don't have water, all of this you can throw out the window. Last year, we had to plant 3 times to get anything green. This year, stuck plants in the ground, boom, got hammered with 2.5, 3 inches. Germination should be fantastic. And that was early August, first week, and those were all destination feed fields. So we put them early. We want to grow tonnage. Some of that product will eventually turn into a clover field. Some of it's just there to have late season food for the deer. So it really comes down to planning your season out and planting at different times so that you have a variety of different palatabilities in your overall landscape. The other thing these rains did, it absolutely helped all the farmers out. They call them $1 million rains for the farmers because of the bean crop and the corn crop. Well, they might be $1 million rain for the deer food plot expert as well. So a few tips that we really look at, we try to plan out. Hopefully that'll help you out as you develop your strategies to kill that next giant. But first, it wouldn't be a deer season 23 without an awesome hunt from last fall. Here's one of the good ones.
All right, October the 28th here in the great state of Iowa. My buddy Jason Conrad, he drew that coveted Iowa tag up here on a buddy of ours farm. He's hunting 3 giants. We just hoping to see one of them. We got a couple of ponds on the field already. We couldn't even get set up. They're already moving. The bucks have been on scrapes pretty hardcore here lately. So more deer coming down right there in the corner. Yeah, so we gotta wrap this interview up. Jason's already spotted more deer. Here we go. Wrap it up. Great state of Iowa. See if Jason can make that Mathew's bow do some work tonight. That's a maturity here. He's 4.5 plus. That's a big bull. It's the land of Chapman, that's for sure. That deer's got a split on his right. Think all, buddy. Man. Smoked him, dude. Holy cow. You smoked him. Go down, buddy. Go down. Go down. There's blood pouring out of him.
Oh, it was pouring immediately, dude. You stroked him, dude. Giant.
Oh my God, Brandon.
First night in Iowa.
First night. I have been dreaming of that shot and that situation my whole life. My whole life.
You just shot a giant, buddy. Holy cow.
Hey. Mathew did it, didn't he?
That freaking rage is straight. Did you see the blood coming out of that deer?
As soon as he spun, turned, and just poured out.
Oh my God.
Giant.
What did I with 2 hours? I have been here 2 hours.
So happy for you, brother. Hey, deer cat said good. What was the night?
It was great.
That's right. Let's go.
That stuff right there is so stuff. Oh, thank you. What did I just do?
You just shot the biggest deer of your life, I think. All right, I could not be happier. You're sitting here behind Jason. Is that your biggest deer ever?
By far.
By far?
By far.
Come up out of Mississippi, showed up last night, drove all through the night. He said he's had like 3 hours sleep in the last few days. Using up his vacation time to come up, his first night in Iowa, and he gets it done on an absolute giant, buddy. Congratulations.
Oh, it's hard to explain. You know, you dream about these your whole life. Oh man, I don't.
It's not a dream anymore.
No,
You get
not
that
anymore.
coveted Iowa tag. Only took you 5 years to draw it, but
5
boy,
years.
it paid off big time. What a giant. I love that split brow.
Yep.
It's got some junk off the bases.
And what about that blood trail?
Oh, that rage, that was something else. That blood trail was 6-7 foot wide. We figured out why, you know, he hit high lung, but then he was also foaming out of his nose and his mouth as he was running. I mean, that blood trail was this wide. Buddy, I couldn't be any happier for you.
I'm on cloud 9.
Thank you for letting me be a part of it.
Oh, wouldn't have had it no other way.
Boy, this time of the year, we always have deer on the mind, but as you saw in last week's episode, we've also got elk on the mind. Here we are, heading into the elk season, heading into the bugle, and we thought, man, what a perfect time to showcase one of the finest hunts of the year last year. And the thing that I love about this hunt, first of all, John and Jacob are as fine as they come. They know what they're doing. They're always in game. But most importantly, Jacob made a shot that was just a little bit back and looks like a killing shot, but they couldn't find the elk. They looked for days. They were there for like 8 or 9 days, or maybe 10, and John and I were texting every day. They spent day in and day out, and they finally recovered Jacob's elk. And that, to me, that perseverance, I pat them both on the back. He didn't get the shot he wanted, but they did everything they could to find the elk in time, and when they couldn't, they never gave up, and they kept looking for the elk, and he stopped hunting. He wanted to find that bull.
For the first afternoon hunt, DeerCast said great, and Jacob and I literally planned our trip around that.
For the afternoon, we're headed to a water source. I'm behind the Mathew's bow, and he's behind the camera.
DeerCast map said the wind was perfect, blowing away from the bedding and the water, you know, where we didn't expect the elk to come from, so everything was lining up perfectly for our first evening hunt.
DeerCast Maps is showing that the wind is perfect for this spot we're in right now. We're right on the water, and if you look at DeerCast Maps, well, you can see that we're surrounded by mountaintops. So hopefully a big bull comes in.
You know, so we climb up in the stand, things start out slow, all of a sudden we hear some cows chirping and mewing, we look to our left, and here comes the herd. You know, so the next morning things were pretty slow, but we had a plan. We were gonna go right back to that pond. Again, we had reconnaissance pictures of, you know, bull elk in daylight. We had the whole herd come in, and literally within 10, 15 minutes of, you know, Jacob being able to get a shot, so we were going right back to that same spot. Deer cast still said great, so anticipation was high. So we climb up in the stand for the evening hunt. We know there are elk in the area. Well, sure enough, about an hour before dark, I looked to my left, there was a big bull with him. You know, so that big bull comes in, he gets a drink, he starts to work his way around the pond towards his cows. His cows are right in front of us. I know things are about to happen.
Super awesome bull. We're gonna have to go to deer cast track and rewatch the footage, but I think I hit him a little back.
Yes, that bull comes in, he's at like 35 yards. He's perfect quartering away, following a cow. Well, in the heat of the moment and all the excitement, when Jacob came to full draw, as he was looking through his peep, that bull spun almost all the way around. So he went from slight quartering away to slight quartering to. And when Jacob released that victory arrow, you know, that rage hit that bull just a little bit back. You know, so we knew right away we had to refer to deer cast track.
We just got back to camp and we reviewed the footage and compared it to deer cast track, and it appears to be a liver hit, which according to deer cast track says wait 10 to 12 hours. So we're gonna leave it overnight and try to track it in the morning. My arrow, some blood.
Find your arrow, how's it look? So the next morning we were on the trail. Unfortunately for us, after a couple hundred yards, we lost blood. We started to make circles. We used deer cast maps to kind of, you know, look at the topography and try to identify maybe where that elk would have went, where he might have bedded. We searched, you know, for the whole rest of the day, but no luck. You know, so we were going to be diligent. We weren't going to give up on Jacob's bull. We spent the next several days, you know, searching high and searching low, literally and figuratively. All right, well, it's been several days since Jacob shot his bull. We've been looking diligently, literally all over this ranch. And fortunately for us, some cowboys came riding here on Grim Reaper Ridge. They were pushing cattle and they think they found Jacob's bull. So they said it's just down here in a ravine and kind of a little thicket, about 100 yards down off the fence, off the cattle guard. So we're gonna walk down and hopefully this is your bull. Hopefully we found him.
Hopefully.
All right, let's go check it out.
Well, we can smell him. We know he's around here somewhere. We're gonna keep looking around and see if we can find him. They said he was deep in a thicket, so let's keep looking.
Oh, there he is, buddy, right there.
Oh yeah, I see him.
That's him.
Yep, it's definitely him.
You know, because we stayed diligent, after several days, we finally recovered Jacob's bull. You know, I think Jacob felt really bad about the shot. Unfortunately, it's something that does happen in bow hunting. You know, he hit that bull just a little bit back, but bull elk are so tough and they can cover ground so fast. I know that's not how he wanted to recover his bull, but I know that he's super glad that he did. He had his big Oregon 6x6.
Well, I have mixed emotions about this. I'm happy I found my bull, but you know, it's just not the shot I wanted to make, and I do have to apologize for that. It's not what I wanted, but I'm happy I found him. The experiences we've had You know, it's just something I'll never forget up here in the mountains with my dad, my biggest Oregon bull, my first Oregon bull. You know, it's just an amazing experience.
It's your biggest elk, buddy.
We're adding new videos every week, so make sure to click that subscribe button and check out all of our amazing content. This episode of DoD TV was brought to you by Victory Archery, the carbon arrow experts.